Kerala model of development is actually known across the world, and we study it as a best practice also in many of the foreign universities, etc. Undoubtedly, it is leading in healthcare and education and other such public welfare programs. And also in the national programs, which I have also had a chance to lead in at the national level. Many of the programs, Kerala is the one of the leading participants in most of the national programs, whichever government it may be. So, but at the same time, when we say Kerala model of development, it's little. We have to be careful about the economy. The economy here, we are basically completely dependent on passive remittances from abroad. 35% of the gross income of our state ഇപ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് abroad na കിട്ടുന്നത് NRIs na കിട്ടുന്നത്. So we really need to develop the livelihoods of our people. So when we talk of economy, we also need to promote livelihoods and enterprises amongst the youth. So when we say just not employment, of course employment is lacking in Kerala, but at the same time I subscribe to the Prime Minister's view when he talks about creating enterprises and creating entrepreneurs out of youth. And Malayalis are known to be very, very enterprising across the country, across the world actually. So that's where I think the future of Kerala lies. And I think we also need to tap into our, the SHG movement, which is a nascent movement here. But Kudumbashree and such agencies are doing a wonderful job in Kerala, and we need to scale it up. And I think we need to revive our old cooperative model of development, etc., where we actually involve communities in promoting livelihoods. Definitely, just building roads and highways will not bring development, but that is also important. And I think what we lack here in terms of infrastructure development is the frameworks. There's a multiplicity of agencies, and the way it is implemented, especially when you see roads, when sadharana karan namku road ആണ് the main problem, potholes and all that. So why is that? Because the implementation, weakness in implementation, which is there across the country. So you took the example of Gujarat. Now, Gujarat is very good in implementation because of the really good administrative frameworks that they have. Strong, administrative, disciplinarian kind of regime. So, I'm not prescribing an authoritarian rule, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of laissez-faire development. About the economy, yeah, there is a recession, but it's not like we can't declare it as a recession. It's a global recession. But we are dealing with it. I think our country is coming up with policies and programs that will deal with this kind of recession. And I think the Prime Minister's vision of the enterprise model is extremely good, and we'll see the effects of it in the long run. Actually, maybe it's a short-run economic downturn. We cannot really declare at the moment, but I feel we'll come over this because we are emerging as a strong country with a strong leadership. So I think this will take us out of this recession. The last recession also we tackled very well. So hopefully this time also we'll be able. Of course, the GST is now perceived as a bottleneck, but it's not a bottleneck actually. In the long run, it is going to be very, very, it's going to streamline the processes of business. And nowadays, even online registrations of businesses has improved tremendously. I think the services, I myself was thinking of starting an enterprise, and I just was experimenting and looking at the net, and I saw it is so much easier today to set up an enterprise than it was some 5 years before this government came in. Which will definitely, we have not seen this kind of an encouragement for enterprise development before in any other regime, I think. So we've been focusing on jobs, government jobs, employment. I think we need to come out of that mindset because this is an era of enterprise, all across the world, even through the online platforms, there are millions and millions of employment opportunities being created. So we should come out of this 9-to-5 job mentality and tap into our enterprising spirit. Like for example, if I'd like to quote the Chinese model of development, Xi Jinping's model is discovering a resource in every backyard. And once we discover a resource in every community or every neighborhood will have some natural resource. You develop that, you scale it up and make it into an industry. And then you invite the diaspora, so which is a very good model for Kerala because we have so many NRI people still outside India, even though many have come back. But we would like to urge them to come back to their district or their block and their Gram Panchayat and invest in that, in harnessing these resources and scaling it up.